Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the EMUNAH. We're speaking about the dichotomy that you could find in a person that on one hand they could be willing to lay down their lives on the line to defend another Jew, to care after someone, to watch over somebody. At the same time, this person whose Middos, whose character traits are unbridled, can end up having a great dislike for someone, and that dislike could end up leading him to beat him and to hurt him and to do whatever he feels necessary to express his hatred for another person. So how do you have someone that on one hand is noble in character and is elite in the way in which they're ready to protect and defend and care for another Jew, and that same person could be a loose cannon and scream and yell and defile and debase and hurt other Yidden just because he doesn't like them? How does a person do both? So this is really the steer, the contradiction that the Chazon Ish is speaking about, how important it is, as we're about to learn, for a person to be in control of their middos and their feelings and emotions, and not to allow the middos and emotions to be in charge of them. And the Chazon Ish writes, "V'amnam kol eile hina tivos ha'arumos." All of this that we've spoken about are like the very natural and somewhat revealed tendencies that a person has. Kifi shehutbu benefesh hagever hu kamal. These are the qualities that have been instilled inside of human beings, and they are hukam al. They're like powers of the animal world that are instilled and granted to everyone. Meaning, all of the powers of the Balei Chaim, of the animals that are under the sun, have been placed inside of a person. We are a composite, we are a makeup of, yes, the Tselem Elokim, the godliness, which is our neshama, our soul. At the same time, there's a body, and the body is very deeply linked in to the animal kingdom. And therefore, whatever midas, whatever qualities you'll find in the animals, you'll find them in a person as well. Now, this is one of the greatest contradictions of life that a person can have. On one hand, you have a neshama that desires the sublime. It wants to be close to Hashem. Being close to Hashem means being ruchnius. How does a person maintain their ruchnius, their spirituality? They have to do it with Torah, and ma'asim tovim, and mitzvahs, and good midos, and yiras shamayim. That's on one hand, that's what your neshama wants. But you have a goof, you have a body that's being drawn in the direction of the animal kingdom. It has desires, it has wanton lusts, it has its shortcomings, it has just an animalistic approach to life. So these two worlds collide at all corners, at all ventures, and therefore our goal is going to be, how can we raise up the animal kingdom that it should be underneath the rulership and the guise of the ruchni of the person. And that's what he writes over here. And a wise entity has been appointed over all of this. That's the seichel, that is one's intellect. The intellect is supposed to override the base desires of the body. Until one part of the intellect is situated in man's brain, and the second part of the intellect is tucked away in the ginzei meroimim, the heights of heaven. L'nayel es kol tzava midos, and the mission of the intellect is that it should rule over all of the midos, u'lesaknam tikun meisharim, and to lead them along the straight path. Which means there is an army of character traits that every single one of us has. And if you leave them unbridled to themselves, they will go and wreak havoc and cause battles and war. But if you bring your seichel, you bring your intellect into the story, and the intellect comes along and it ends up being like the commander-in-chief and ruling over the army of your Middos and the goof and the body and the lust and the like, so then you'll be able to lead the character traits along Tikkun Mesharim, the straight path. And that is the path that we are striving for in this world. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos.